your pajamas.
And then it was like midnight, and I was like, I'm better not go. I asked myself. I'm still in my pajamas right now? Am I still in my... Oh, when I went to the bar, was I in my pajamas? Maybe. That's for me to know. And I'm sure you'll find out. Cool. All right, now that I've done one of these, I kind of know how the whole thing works. I got people here, and I got some people here. But before I start with these people, when I was in Vegas, who was in Vegas? All right, there was a young woman that had asked me some questions, and it was at the same time that Jared Jensen came up and crashed the deal. And she had some very thoughtful questions that I immediately kind of just fell on the stage and didn't know the answers to, probably. And I never answered the questions, and it's always bugged me, because I knew she had stood in that line for hours to ask a question, and I ruined it for her. So, wherever you are, my beautiful friend, where are you? I know you're here. I just saw you. Huh? I'm here. Brother Man, that's it. I hear you. Come on up here and ask me a question.
First of all, I want to say I'm very excited for you and all the roles that you've been getting this year. I'm very excited. Well, those questions from last year, do you want those again, or do you want another one?
Whatever you want. Whatever you want. I just know that they answer your questions, and I want to answer your questions.
I was hoping that you could tell us a little bit about how John raised Sandy, and that he was actually a very loving and caring father to his son. Yes.
Taking my jokes.
Yes, he was. John Winchester was in Vietnam, and I was wondering if he had any heroes or idols from the era, or if he had wondered if perhaps Mary's episode was a product of...
Oh, an episode of... That's exactly that. Now I'm concerned to come to me. Okay. The first part about John, she wants to know if I gave her the question. I'm an idiot. Look, I know we talked about this a little bit before, though. I think John was a caring and loving father. And I think, to me, when I played John, absolutely. I don't think that I could have approached that role in any other way. I had to look at it that way. Now, I realized that there was many mistakes along the way that he made as a father, but in saying that, this can go back to the Mary of it all, could it have been post-traumatic stress disorder or whatever. I mean, I think you come back from the Vietnam War, I don't know anybody that came back from that war, and I know a few veterans that didn't come back feeling it, and it stuck with them. So of course, I think that there is some of that in John, certainly. But in saying that, I don't know when he saw Mary on the ceiling, that he thought immediately, I'm just seeing this. This is a product of me going to the war. I think that's a little bit different. He knew there was some kind of supernatural power involved in that. But the problem is he makes a choice when he sees his wife burning on that ceiling, and his choice became, and this is where his mistake could have been, as far as being a father, he put revenge before his children in that instance. But I also think he knows that later on, about the time that I come into this story of Supernatural, and you meet John, I think when he reconnects with his sons, he's realized that he's made decisions that didn't really do very well for them as boys. And I think he wants to make up for it. And I think he has spent the rest of his life, and wherever he is now, reflecting on those moments and what he can do. And if he makes an appearance at some point, it'll be trying to make up for that lost time and the choices that he made. Bugging me since Vegas that I didn't get to answer her question. I kid you not. Very, very sweet girl. Hi. What's up?
I'm actually laughing really hard right now because your version of space, like, it's not as, not a phase. I'm actually, it's not a phase version of me today. So it's funny talking to you right now.
Awesome.
My question is, was there any inspirational quote in your life or in Supernatural that stuck to you during an emotional time?
During Supernatural, is there a quote that stuck in my mind? As a character or just the dude that
Just
played
like
the
if you
character?
were watching the show and you heard a quote by like any character that...
No, not me. I don't get hung up on. Oh, you mean like something I said, maybe? You mean a quote of mine, of John Winchester?
No, I'm saying like inspirational.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought. No, I don't get inspiration from really anything. I'm teasing. Nothing in particular that I can think of now. Understand, you guys. I know it. To a lot of you, this show is kind of fresh, and you watch these episodes over and over. I haven't done that. And I have, some very specific memories of my time shooting the show. But I've never been huge on, like, let's do a ton of research and all that. I hope that it's on the page, first of all, and then I sit with the creator, in this case it was Eric Kripke, and I had some conversations with him about John, and then I kind of take those conversations and my own thoughts with whatever character, in this case we're talking about John, and I do my own thing. And that's why I always get so pissy defending my choices and what I think and know John Winchester is, because again, when I shot what I shot, he was a loving father who would have done anything for his kids, and I will always back that. I know that, especially if you've heard me talk in Vegas, that I always kind of go back to that same point, and that I was pissy with kind of what they did with the Winchester, with John's name. 7 years later on the show, I hear stuff, I'm like, how fucking dare they? I should probably get over that. But, any character that I do, I take very personally, and I protect that character. And John, in particular, meant a lot to me while I was doing it, for a lot of reasons. It was a very early stage of my career. It was the first opportunity, one of the first opportunities I had to really bring what I could to a character. They gave me a lot of leeway. Kim Manners in particular. Very much missed, but kind of let me run with it. So no, there was no great quotes. I wish I could get some kind of super smart thing that would make you go home and have to look it up and all that. But no, a lot of my work is kind of done inside this, whatever this is, this vessel. Yeah, thank you. Oh, okay. Hi. Hi, Jill. How are you?
Just curious if you would be willing to share any personal feelings toward the next role that you're going to take. Having been Pop Winchester, that your next role is going to be left to be painted.
Yeah. Yeah, the role we're talking about is Walking Dead. Role of Negan. It's a whole different ball. Y'all know about Negan? most people know me from, well, let's stick in the world of television. Most people know me from Danny Duquette, John Winchester. Thank you. An accident recently, and now people are watching The Good Wife. So when my agent and manager called, they said, you've been offered this thing on The Walking Dead, is to play like a big bad. And at that time, they didn't know the character's name, because I think it was supposed to be a secret. And I'm like, is it fucking Negan? I'm like, I don't know, we have to call you back. Hold on a second. I'm like, no, it's fucking Negan. And I'm fucking doing it. Most of them say fuck all the time. Because you're kind of so used to me playing a certain role, and again, there's little kids in here, I apologize. You know, I've kind of become accustomed to playing sort of a good guy, you know, maybe a rough exterior, but a heart and gold in there somewhere. So I think the challenge for me in this role is going to be, is there any heart in Negan? And for me, I look at that as a challenge as an actor, and that's the kind of thing that I embrace and really look forward to. So. Thank you. I'm excited too. You got another question? I love when people read questions. You know, it makes me want to go nuts. Go. Question number 2.
What's the most memorable scene with the boys?
Yeah, I knew what boys you were talking about. I think, and I've also talked about this before, I think the episode Shadow, that was my kind of favorite episodes. That's kind of where the father and the sons are reintroduced for the first time. And it was, you know, obviously I've known Jensen and Jerry for some time. I've already done a few episodes, but our characters hadn't shared the screen before. So Shadow is that whole episode for me was great. I mean, I think also I'll go to the scene, the season finale of episode 2. Is it My Time of Dying or the one before that? The season finale when Jensen's in the hospital. Okay, thank you. When Jensen tells me, you know, the big secret about Sam and all that, it was a very emotional time for us actors too. You know, that last day was a hard day. It's because we shot that hospital stuff at the same time that John died, and so the three of us we were wound pretty tight that day. But those stick out, and all the stuff that Kim directed. Kim Manners directed, you know, about 90% of the episodes that I did. Yeah, I can't say enough about him. He really formed a lot. I mean, Ricky obviously really kind of figured out what this show was, certainly before the three of us did. But yeah, I'd say Shadow off the top of my head, that's the one. You're welcome. I'm the only guy that doesn't sit in the chair, huh? No. Someone's stealing my shit? Pardon me? Oh, they're lazy. My character's still a show today. How would it be different? Well, I think it'd be drastically different. It's a whole other show. We'd be more like the Waltons. Waltons is too old for you, all right. Waltons was a family show. Good night, John Boy. I don't know. I mean, you know what would have been cool about it is the three of us together hunting kind of would have been a spectacular thing, so you probably would have had a lot of that. Would have been, how many seasons are they on now? You'd have a lot of episodes of the three of us together hunting, and you know, obviously, there's obviously a lot of stuff that these three characters need to work out at some point. You know, I know you got like little Matty Cowan running around doing John Winchester Jr. He is spectacular. I kind of want to take that guy home. He is adorable. And he jumps really high. But I think, you know, there's so much sort of unsaid. There's so many questions that we all have about this relationship of these three men, two boys and their father. And so I think it's just a completely different show. Where that would be, I'm not a writer. It would have been different. And there was a moment in time after, maybe midway through season 2, they had talked to me about becoming a regular on the show. My schedule was so much. And I wonder what would have happened. I don't know. It's a great question, but I think you have to ask Victor. Because he was the one that said, you want to do some more? And I was like, I do, but I'm busy. I mean, just my whole world exploded at that time. And you know, I was on to do, I don't know, watching on PSLW first, but something I did right away, and it just kind of took away from the ability to do TV and the show at that time. And that was sort of it. They had to come back in season 3 for that brief moment, and that was the last time that I shared the screen with those two fellows. So, you know, different show. You have to use your own imagination, I think. There's a lot of places we could have gone. Cool? Probably not cool at all. I didn't get anything from that. Thanks. Hi. That would be a different show. Stuff Negan into the supernatural world. That would be the end of Supernatural. Oh, trust me. You have no earthly idea. I can talk the character that I've done into. You know, the character I did in X-Men would have got done well in the supernatural world. I think he had kind of the right sense of tongue-in-cheek humor and a little bit of a smart ass. And that would have gone well, certainly with Dean. You know, I think the two of them would have hit it off very well. So, a recent character, that one. And as far as just wreaking havoc, Negan would be very interesting. But comedian kind of been fun too. I always want to go down to the dark side. Let's just go somewhere a little bit different and dark. So, I don't know. How about Benny Duquette? Bedridden. I don't know what the show would have been about. Trying to carry around his LVAD. And it's like, oh, I have a heart attack. I don't think he would have lasted very long in Supernatural. You're welcome. Thank you. Can't get out of this bed. I'd love to help you fight that supernatural stuff, but I can't move. Don't cut my LVAD. I don't know. No, I'm not in charge of that stuff, believe it or not. Because if I was in charge of it, I'd say, yeah, I'll come to all of them. I think the chance to meet all of you is so great that, I mean, why wouldn't I want to? And, you know, this is, again, unlike any convention that I've ever heard of or seen. And so it's really nice to come and be a part of it. But, you know, there's other people that, mostly people that schedule my life. My manager's here somewhere. Track him down. See what he's got to tell you.
What's he look like? Right?
I don't know what they've announced. I don't have a say in it. Like I just find out sort of. I won't say last second. I knew that I was supposed to do the Pasadena one, but like up until 30 hours ago, I was still like considering not doing it, and then I realized what an asshole move that would be. Because everybody here, a lot of people came because it's one of the few I've done, and I'm not. I was so tired yesterday. I was on the plane yesterday, and I hadn't slept and worked all night the night before. In the cold, and I was literally on the plane and my whole body cramped up. So I'm in the aisle of the plane, kind of like dancing, like trying to stretch out my legs, and I'm like, oh my God, this is never going to work. Got the pajamas at the bar with Jensen last night. I was like, I feel great. More conventions.
I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about Negan.
Sure. I mean, I can tell you a little bit.
Yeah, I don't want to spoilers.
No.
For those who have no earthly idea of who Negan is, how would you compare him to other characters?
Okay, the only character I can compare Negan to, I've played a couple bad guys recently in films you probably haven't seen yet. Desi Arthur, I play a fucking bad man also. But Negan, kind of the only way you could compare him is a comedian. But much worse, if that's possible. He's a sociopath with a great sense of humor. And he is brutal. And you're soon to find out how brutal. I mean, if you're familiar with the comics, you kind of have an idea. If you're a fan of the show and don't know the comics, you're going to fucking hate me. And I apologize. Not really. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool, and I'm very, very excited about it. And I hope you are too. I promise you it's going to be nifty. Yeah, comedian. I mean, that's your closest kind of reference point. You're welcome.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Hola.
Irene.
Hi, Irene.
What was your favorite episode or scene as John Winchester?
My favorite episode and scene?
Or scene as John Winchester?
Well, again, shout out episode. Favorite scene, though, I'm going to pull something else out. That'd be the Yellow-Eyed Demon, the introduction of the Yellow-Eyed Demon. See where I'm going here is I always go back to the bad guy stuff. It's fun to do. I got to invent the Yellow-Eyed Demon. That got to be my creation, and then every actor that had to follow and be the Yellow-Eyed Demon had to sit and study my performance. I've met a couple actors who come to me and say, dude, I had to watch your Yellow-Eyed Demon like 50 times trying to figure out what the hell you were doing. Which is awesome as an actor. You're like, that is awesome. That is cool. Because really, what I did was, I sort of ripped off Jack Nicholson as The Shining. I remember Tim came up to me and he's like, I don't care what you do, but you can't be John Winchester. It's got to be something different. And I remember going back to the trailer and just thinking, what can I do? And I had a couple days, obviously, to think about it. The first thing that popped into my head was Nicholson bursting through that door and saying, hey, it is Johnny. And it kind of changed my voice and how I wanted to talk. And so that scene, and I couldn't see anything. I'm sure y'all heard the story. I told the story 100 times. I had those friggin' contacts in. And so I couldn't tell where, Jensen and Jared were in the scene. So I was like running into like sandbags that I kind of know. I could see like bright beams of light. So I kind of knew that I was going, oh, head for the lights. And then when I ran into a sandbag, I would stop and I'd know they were kind of like here-ish. And I would do some dialogue and I'd stumble around until I found the other woman. But it was fun and getting to do again that kind of a role reversal of, going from like John to Yellow-Eyed Demon or Denny Duquette to the comedian, that kind of stuff for me, getting to do different things and try to be versatile and doing different roles. I mean, I've not done a lot of. I signed for 1 year to do shows. I'm that guy. So it just means I like to play different characters. I like to try to test my own shit and try to get better at my craft. I think the best way to get for me is to try to do as different things as humanly possible. Now, if I found my show like obviously Jared and Jensen have, I'd be happy with that too. They are the happiest two dudes I've ever met. That's not how my career's been. My career's been, I like to do as many different things as possible, which isn't great for the audience because, they like me in the show and then I disappear, I die. But for me as an actor, it's been a really interesting kind of last 10 to 12 years to do different roles I've done. Yeah, but yeah, Yellow-Eyed Demon, Shadow. I always lose my voice hanging out with you people.
Jensen or
I wanted to ask who the game you played.
Okay.
Ask about the losers. You worked with such cool cast.
I was a handsome cast of folk, wasn't it? Idris Elba, Chris Evans, Glover Shores.
Idris Elba.
Oh, that's the first one I said. Yeah, he's the handsomest. That guy had me a little googly eyed. I'll be doing a scene with him, I just get lost in his big brown eyes.
So I wanted to ask if there were any, because it was a.
Well, that wasn't the question? Yeah, they were hot.
So it's pretty much a male cast.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Were there pranks and shenanigans like there are on Supernatural?
Not to the extent of Supernatural. The difference between like Supernatural and like go to a movie is these guys have been together for years. Like I promise you, in year one there weren't pranks on Supernatural. Everybody was on very good behavior. Now you can't go to the bathroom and have it be safe on that show. So our movies, Losers. No, there wasn't like a ton of pranks other than. I've told this story before, I think I mentioned too. Everybody had to get the last word in every single scene. So the scene that we would do a sequence on the page, on that show you got a bunch of men that wanted to be the alpha male, and that's impossible. It's not a feasible thing. For one, I'm not going to let you be the alpha male. I'm going to. So, poor Idris. But we had a blast, and there was a lot of laughing and a lot of trying to one-up each other, and that director had a hell of a time trying to rein us all in, I can tell you that for sure. But yeah, no like fucking paying back bets and pennies and them falling all over the place, that kind of stuff. None of that supernatural shenanigans that we hear. I wish. And don't think I won't do that on the next show I do. I've always thought, God, I just need to owe somebody some money. Is that okay? Yeah. Totally unsatisfied. Another unsatisfied answer to a perfectly great question.
What's been your favorite role to play during your career?
My whole career? I don't know that I have. Tea and honey today. So I'm trying. It's kind of whatever role I am doing has to be my favorite role. I know I've answered this question before, and I'll answer it again. I'm going to go with the two roles that gave me a career. So that would be John Winchester and Danny Negan. How could I not make those my two favorite roles? Because before I did those, kind of at the same time, again, a chance to show a little bit of versatility as an actor. I didn't have much of a career, and those two shows happening and airing at the same time suddenly opened the door for me to fucking be here and be doing the different things that I've gotten a chance to do, and I've got to do some vastly different things, and especially in the last, 4 or 5 years, I feel like everything I've done has really kind of jump all over the place. And I've had so much fun being able to do that. But, you know, Danny and John made you people certainly aware of me. And because of you, I now get the opportunity to continue to work, you know. And I thank you. God bless you guys for falling for this, you know. I mean, really, I know where my bread is buttered, and that is with you. It's with the audience. And so you guys responded to those characters, and because of you, I get to be here. You listen to me ramble like a fool. So thank you. Thank you. Did he answer that question? Again, I'm not sure if he did.
By the way, thank you for always playing the role of the guy dying.
You're welcome.
The guy that dies great humanity. What else? Yes, that's what you do.
Supernatural. Yeah, I know.
My question is, how did you like playing Joe DiMaggio?
Joe DiMaggio. Yeah, you know, Joe DiMaggio. That was a different thing. It kind of, you know, initially that sort of like this kind of fit in the middle, and it was shooting in Toronto, and I was in New York. And it was a quick trip, but I could go nail that sucker out. And, you know, what's funny is I didn't know a whole ton about that relationship when I had said yes to, or when they offered it to me. When they offered it to me, I looked into more about the relationship than I did even the script. And became kind of fascinated with this guy and Marilyn Monroe and the love that they had, and the fact that despite their love for each other, they couldn't be around each other. And I was sort of fascinated with it. And I really kind of wanted to explore that. I wish I could have kind of explored it more, but you know, I again didn't write the script, so I don't get to say, you know, what we're missing here is a little bit more of Joe and Marilyn, unfortunately. But I enjoyed playing them, and I wish we could have seen a little bit more of who Joe was, because really we got to see kind of the rough side of Joe mostly in that film. It would have been nice to see the part of him that visited and sent roses to her grave once a month for the rest of his life until he passed away, and the Joe that was there for her when really no one else was. We really didn't get to touch on that, but it was there, and I knew it, and it was important to me just knowing that, even if I didn't get to show the audience that. So yeah, it was an interesting thing to be able to kind of jump into it, and more interesting to sort of research it.
Thank you.
You're
Great
welcome.
answer.
Oh, great answer. One.
We're gonna get graded at the end.
Yeah, don't forget.
No.
This was actually his question, but she gave it to me.
Okay. Where's your sister?
This is my sister.
Okay, hi.
This is her name's Audrey.
Hi, Audrey.
My name's Madison.
Why are you bitter? It's your question. You can ask it together.
It's my birthday.
Oh, Jesus Lord, you guys, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. All right, happy birthday.
Okay.
Sister's question.